on KBTX.
We continue following some breaking news tonight out of Burleson County. Multiple people have been injured in an oil well explosion south of Caldwell. Rusty Surrett is live near that scene for us this evening with the latest. Rusty.
Carla, this is becoming a frustrating situation for families of the employees here at Chesapeake Energy who were working out here this afternoon in Burleson County when that oil well explosion happened at about 3:30 this afternoon. The Burleson County Sheriff's Office and the Texas Department of Public Safety just wrapped up a media briefing about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and honestly, they did not have many answers to the questions that we had. They could not say how many people were injured or how many or how bad those injuries were. The only thing that they're telling us right now is that there were multiple injuries when there was an oil well explosion here in Burleson County earlier this afternoon. Now, this happened at a place that's operated by Chesapeake Energy, which is an Oklahoma City-based company. Now, Chesapeake Energy did issue a statement earlier this afternoon, and I'm going to read what they sent us here at KBTX. Chesapeake Energy says at approximately 3:30 p.m., a fire was reported on the Wendell and Daniel H1 well in Burleson County, Texas. First responders are on location, and we will provide additional information as that becomes available. That fire out here in Burleson County is still burning at this hour. County Road 127, where this property sits, is still blocked off at this time, just south of Caldwell and just to the east of the Deanville community. That remains off limits to all of the public. But you can see here behind me the command post, again, where they just wrapped up a media briefing to give us an update on the situation out here. And they are telling us the fire is still burning. There's no danger to the public. Nobody in this rural area has been evacuated at this time. And they're still only saying at this point there are multiple injuries, but they will not say how many people have been injured, and they won't say how severe those injuries are. We'll continue to bring you the latest. We'll have updates coming up throughout this newscast. Live in Burleson County, Rusty Surrett. Carla, back to you.
Rusty, thank you. We are certainly thinking about all those families. Also new to the newsroom, College Station police say a missing man with autism has been found safe. He had been reported missing earlier tonight, and we posted this at kbtx.com. So wanted to bring you that positive update tonight. Also new this evening, Texas A&M University police looking for a pair of men who may be linked to the burglary of men's basketball coach Buzz Williams and his vehicle. Police say someone broke into Coach Williams' vehicle outside Reed Arena on January 7th. A credit card belonging to him was used in College Station to buy several items, including some gift cards. Now, one of those suspects was seen entering a store the same day the card was stolen. Police said some of those gift cards were used days later in Kansas City during the Texans and Chiefs game. Well, call University Police if you've got any information on this case. A College Station student is facing criminal charges after making a threat against a school. That's according to school officials. In an email sent to parents today, the principal of Cypress Grove Intermediate says that student threatened to harm another person at the school yesterday. Investigators say the student made a threat to harm a person. Well, district leaders say a student overheard the threat and told their parents. Police notified the school this morning. This is the 5th College Station ISD student arrested for making a threat this school year. Texas A&M students and faculty are currently banned from traveling to China. The university made that announcement yesterday, and News 3's Josh Ninke spoke exclusively with the university about how they made that call, why now, and just how many people that impacts. Scary moments this evening as a possible tornado tears through North Bryan. A lot of people were out on the road. It happened just around 4:45 this afternoon. We'll show you some of the damage it left behind, but first let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Shel Winkley. And Shel, we knew storms were coming. We'd followed what you said, and then this happened. Why did this form? What happened?
Well, you said possible tornado, so we don't have a confirmation from the Weather Service. All likelihood, and I'll show you why in just a bit, that we know this is a tornado. is because of the debris that came with it. But now we have to figure out why it happened and where it touched down and the damage that it left. And here's the thing, on any given day, Carla, this is a shower. It started at Welburn around 4:15 and then moved up to the north. No lightning with it, not even that much of heavy rain. But what happened is we had an old outflow boundary from the activity that moved through this morning, and it caught that shower and spun it up. So this is a look at that storm as it passed by at 4:15 when it produced that very brief tornado. It was only about maybe 18,000 feet tall, a very short shower. And again, not even classified as a thunderstorm, but again, that brief little spin up produced what looked like a significant tornado. In fact, I want to show you some of the video because the other question we've had here is, was it a tornado? Was it a funnel cloud? How do you know? And if you watch closely, this is one of the pictures that were sent in, and right there you can see some of that debris flying through the air. So that tells us, even though this was very low to the ground and we had obstruction there, that it is on the ground, and we will show you some of that damage that shows you that it was a tornado. National Weather Service is due into town tomorrow. It'll tell us the strength of it, likely because of the damage that we had in a few locations, and it'll tell us the exact start point and the exact ending point, which again, wasn't very long. This was not on the ground long, but you can tell it did plenty of damage, and it struck a portion of town where there were definitely some structures. Luckily, we have not heard of any injuries here this evening. So that is the good news, if you have any out of this situation. Let me show you pinpoint radar here for tonight. This is what we're dealing with as of this hour. Still have a flood advisory, meaning some light flooding and some minor flooding is occurring across portions of Brazos County, including Bryan and College Station, Northwest Grimes County, and Madison County. It goes until 12:15. This is the last band of rain and storms moving through the area. That will be the end of all this, and it's not severe, but it could be producing some very heavy rainfall still and some pea-sized hail. Also have a flood advisory in place for Leon and Robertson County. That will continue for another hour and a half, set to expire with some of the minor flooding on roads there until 11:30. We'll take another look at this, plus we have many of our creeks and rivers now moving to flood stage because of all the rain that fell today. We'll get you those details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Shell. Madisonville also hit by the storms today, and meteorologist Erica Page is joining us live in Madison right now. And Erica, how are those streets looking tonight?
Well, you know, we've been through Madisonville, and we kind of had to track back here to the area. What we kind of started our day as is we left the station at 2:30 this afternoon, and we were following that storm that was moving through Bryan and College Station, and we actually saw some of that rotation as that storm was making its way closer to the area. And then in our efforts to kind of stay ahead of this storm throughout the day, we got caught in a lot of that rain and kind of caught behind it thanks to just a lot of the rain and the kind of just some of those flooded roadways that we were running into, especially across North Zulch. That was kind of the area that we really noticed some of those flooded roadways, and especially Highway 21 and the 39 overpass. That's where the police officers had the road blocked off. They were diverting traffic, and our goal was to kind of continue to stay ahead of these storms, especially as we continued down I-45 throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours.
And many of you have sent us pictures and video of the storm moving through the area this evening. I want to show you some of those. First of all, we're going to start outside with, I was told this is from a viewpoint from Grimes County in Iola, specifically looking toward that direction of 1179 and Coyote Run Road. I apologize for that delay. Now we're going to bring it inside more. We've got our friends at BCS Toyota. This is in their parking lot today, this evening, and this one will show you more of the dark clouds and of course that funnel looking thing that again we are still waiting to confirm to make sure that was a tornado. And then this is one that many of you have seen on social media as well. We've got, this is from the Galleria Village here on 29th Street, just down the road in Briarcrest Drive. If you notice, this is the building, and this is looking outside the window. And again, that funnel looking cloud off in the distance and closer to the center of where all that activity happened, where McKenna just took us a moment ago. This is, I believe it is Epicure's Catering. We have been in touch with them. We're trying to get some information about their rebuilding efforts. This is their catering facility out there off of FM 1179 near Coyote Run Road. And we're going to have that information on their rebuilding efforts coming up a little bit later.
News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
They're police officers with tactical weapons. The mall completely surrounded. They want everybody out.
It's the message that you never want to receive. There's possibly an active threat incident occurring in your community.
Just the glass and everything else. It was just crazy. And everybody started running, and then you see all the police and everybody had to get down.
The search continues at this hour for 3 men accused of a smash and grab at Post Oak Mall that some people mistook for a shooting. We have team coverage tonight, including reaction from the people who were there. But we start right now with Rusty Surrett, who was the first reporter on the scene as those families were fleeing the mall.
Kathleen, the sound of glass being smashed inside of a jewelry store sounded a lot like gunshots that were being fired in the mall today. So when it happened, there was a swift county-wide response of law enforcement and medics who responded to Post Oak Mall, fearing that the worst had happened. Now, when they arrived here at the mall, they were greeted in the parking lot by customers and mall employees who were running for cover. Some actually stayed inside the mall and sheltered in place. Police conducted a quick sweep of the mall, and after speaking with witnesses, they learned that the sound of shots were actually glass being smashed at a jewelry store counter. The thieves then got into a car and left the area. Police say they're thankful nobody was hurt, and now they'll go back and look at their response and compare it to their training for these kind of situations.
One of the things that we can take from this is what went right, and if anything could have been done better, what could have been done better, so that we can better prepare for the next time, or for if this ever does actually become a reality.
And right before this newscast, we learned that a possible suspect vehicle has been spotted and found in South Brazos County near Highway 6 and Indian Lakes. But at this point, police are still looking for the 3 men who were involved. They've not said if anything was actually taken at the jewelry store in the mall, but they said 3 men were involved, and right now they don't have a very detailed description, at least not one that they're releasing publicly. As far as the mall, Kathleen, it is now back open, and for the last couple of hours, we've seen customers go in and out as if nothing's happened. Live in College Station, Rusty Surrett, News 3.
Rusty, thank you. But of course, for those mall patrons just a few hours ago, it was a scary afternoon. They came out of this building and what they saw was officers holding rifles. News 3's Jessica Grunling was in the parking lot as they were coming out. Jessica, what was their reaction?
One woman described it as pure chaos inside the mall. Police say 3 men smashed a jewelry case, and some people thought that sound was gunshots. A spokesperson for the College Station Police Department says they received multiple calls of gunshots. Others didn't hear the noise but saw people running and saying there was a shooter in the building. Police also told people to shelter in place. Here is one person's account of what happened inside.
The glass and everything else, it was just crazy. Everybody started running, and then you see all the police and everybody had to get down.
And it sounded like somebody smashing glass?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And did somebody tell you to leave the mall?
Yeah, everybody, the officers and well, at first we just had to like get down, but it's a pretty manic. All the kids in Chuck E. Cheese, them poor kids.
Now, most everyone said although it was a false alarm, they were still pretty shaken up, but we're happy with how quickly emergency personnel responded today. Live in College Station, Jessica Grunling, News 3.
Jessica, thank you so much. Now on to the story that continues to dominate headlines. We found out this afternoon Texas A&M University is suspending classes on Monday and Tuesday of next week. University officials are citing concerns about COVID-19 or novel coronavirus. News 3's McKenna Rodriguez is live on campus with more from university officials.
This Valley This Morning on KBTX News 3.
Good Monday morning, Brazos Valley. We begin this 6:30 hour with a live eye look outside. This is looking over the campus of Texas A&M. Looks like a beautiful shot, but it is deceiving because there is nothing romantic about the cold temperatures and the dangerous roads out there. But it sure does make for a pretty shot out there. We do have team coverage this morning as we keep track of current conditions across the Brazos Valley. And team, we were just talking about a really good question we received. One of the big stories this morning is going to be those rolling blackouts. Somebody said, what is a rolling blackout? It's a random outage as ERCOT tries to conserve energy.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to know from overnight is ERCOT went from a stage of, hey, we need to conserve energy to, hey, this is critical, to now, well, we are forced to do rolling outages. So rolling blackouts, brownouts, rolling outages, whatever it is, power has been going on and off, not only for you at home, but across the entire state of Texas. It seemed to start in West Texas early this morning and has just been scattered across the entire state. Now, they've said that 15 to 45 minutes is the extent that it will be out, and then you should be able to regain it. We'll see. They'll have an update for us at about 10:30 this morning, and you can bet we'll have that on KBTX.com and on our Facebook page as well. Winter storm warning. We've told you about this, and you've probably seen this on social media as well. This is for the entire state of Texas. Now, this expires at 6 o'clock, but the winter weather effects are going to be felt after that. This was for snow, 3 to 8 inches, which we've received in plenty of spots. And that ice glaze that was over it in the very beginning that kind of started this whole mess as early as Saturday morning. But we are entering into what is going to be the coldest stretch, and that starts this morning. Wind chills are anywhere from about 2 degrees in Huntsville and Conroe, and then below 0 for the rest of us. It feels like 6 degrees right now, below 6, 6 below 0. I don't ever have to say that, I'm sorry, but 6 below 0 is our wind chill right now. And east of I-45, where we are still seeing some of this heavier snow bands, but here's the good news, and as you'll see a little bit later, we're getting a little bit of blue sky out there. Now, that's not going to be enough to warm us above freezing, but could help sublimate some of the snow that is on the roads right now and maybe warm us up into the upper teens. As you make your way into the western Brazos Valley, radar is clear. Down towards the Houston area, not so much. Now, as we go into this afternoon, again, we're going to try to work our way to the upper teens, to the low 20s, but not only are we looking at the snow that fell overnight, but there's enough wind out there to knock things around. So we already talked about what that means in terms of wind chill, but Shell, it's been windy since about Thursday or Friday. And so we've had to talk about wind chill ever since then, but wind's going to pick up a little bit before it comes back down.
It is. And you know what, Max, we've actually settled here a bit over the past hour or so in Bryan and College Station. That sounds like great news, but once the sun comes up and if we truly can get a little bit of sunshine going, it's going to mix down the faster winds from the upper levels of the atmosphere. So right now, most of our gusty winds are where we have the leftover snow, which is east of the Navasota River. We have calmed down to about 20-25 miles per hour for everybody that is to the west of the Navasota. 17 today, gusts at least to 25. Again, I do expect them to pick back up. And because the snow is a little grainier, it's drier than we normally find when the few instances we have snow here. That can pick up the snow and cause some blowing snow this morning to bring down visibility. We dropped to 2 tonight, but the wind chill, it doesn't take a lot of wind to make an already extremely historically cold temperature feel even colder as we drop down to wind chills tomorrow morning as much as 5 to 10 degrees below 0. So again, winds are expected to stay breezy and gusty. They just won't be quite as much as what we're going to find here this morning. Temperatures as we head into the afternoon hours anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees across the Brazos Valley. A reminder, your average is 65 at this time in February, and this is the bottom of this Arctic valley that we're slipping into. One expected tonight, Caldwell, Cameron, Hearn, maybe not even out of the question for Bryan and College Station at 2 to Anderson, Madisonville as well. Centerville to Crockett, a goose egg. That's where we expect you to start at 0, and we could even find those temperatures below 0. We'll look at the latest data through the day and get you updated, but regardless, it is just horribly cold outside, and it does not get much better until we get maybe into tomorrow afternoon with some sunshine in the 20s. Someone who has been fighting the wind all morning long, and Mia, it looks a lot calmer for you out there. How does it feel now that the wind's not quite as brisk and blustery as earlier around, say, the 4 o'clock hour?
Yeah, so we've shifted our location just a little bit. We're farther down. Now we're at the intersection of Church Avenue and University. This is Texas A&M right here beside me. And as Shell mentioned, yes, wind conditions have calmed down a bit. We're not really seeing any flurries fall from the sky right now. What you do see is still kind of a little bit of that drier snow that's being lofted up into the air. So definitely something that we're going to continue to monitor as we head throughout the morning hours. And a lot of people are kind of headed out if you have to be out on the roads early this morning. And that's something that I will say also is this is University right here behind me. Not really seeing a lot of cars right now, but we have seen traffic start to pick up just a little bit more as I imagine. These first responders, essential workers, those that have to be out this morning are starting to do so. But I just want to stress again that yes, we are still monitoring some slippery spots as well as reduced visibility at times still with some of these gusty winds if they do continue to pick up. We'll kind of just get a quick little reading once again here. I'll try and get as close to I can as the surface street temperatures. And again, with the snowpack, we're still sitting at about 13 degrees. So it is very cold on the ground. Continue to monitor these road conditions as we head throughout the morning hours. Take it slow, leave plenty of room between you and the person in front of you, and just try and stay off the roads and stay warm and home if you can. Carla?
Mia, thank you. And it's just surreal. I know we've been talking about this, hearing it from our weather team, but seeing it is just unbelievable. And just a reminder that we're not used to it, so it's okay to stay home. And in fact, it's encouraged to stay home because this is so unusual. We're not used to this, and officials with DPS are saying the safest thing for all of us to do really is stay home and not drive if you don't have to. But if you do have to drive, don't get overly confident. Slow down, especially on the highways, and leave twice the amount of room you normally would between you and the vehicle in front of you. Now, if you start to slide or feel like you are losing control, take your foot off both of the pedals. Don't steer away from the direction you're sliding. Instead, turn into that slide. Here's a website that's going to help you out into this coming week, drivetexas.org. That is where you can find the latest traffic updates. You can find a list of closures, traffic incidents, and warnings to make sure you can stay safe if you have to be out on the road. Local school districts are closed today because of those road dangers and the winter weather. Many are transitioning to virtual learning tomorrow. Now, some school districts will do online learning for most of the week. A&M's campus is closed, but they'll do remote classes today and Tuesday. Blinn is closed today, and its virtual classes will go tomorrow through Thursday. And the call across the state continues to conserve electricity. ERCOT has declared an emergency alert, so we will have those rotating outages throughout the morning. We don't know where exactly, we don't know when, how long they will last, but we do know we have been told to expect them throughout the morning. As Max Crawford mentioned a little bit earlier, 10:30 this morning is when we are expected to receive an update from ERCOT. But in the meantime, remember, just expect those rolling outages. Now, if you're looking for easy ways to conserve your electricity use, we can all help, y'all. 68 degrees or below for that thermostat. Keep your shades closed to help insulate the heat that's already inside your home. And try to not use electricity by avoiding the use of those large appliances like your dishwasher, your washer, dryer. Give yourself a break today. Now, we are monitoring the latest outages across the area. Here in Brazos County, BTU is reporting about 22,600 people without power this morning. College Station, about 2,000 people without power this morning, and we're told they do have crews out monitoring the latest. Of course, that is what we're hearing from all of our energy partners across the area. Those who are trying to keep the electricity on for us, they are out driving, checking the conditions. So that is another reason why it's better for the rest of us who don't have to be out to stay off the roads. We do have more team coverage coming up this morning of this winter storm that's blowing through the Brazos Valley. Here's a look at conditions outside of Hearn as the sun is coming out. This is a shot from Jessica Grunling.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of blue sky there. So we might get a little bit of sunshine, enough to warm us into the upper teens this afternoon. So the coldest weather is still to come, but we'll get you everything you need to know about the rest of the week, get you another look at Pinpoint Radar right after the break.
The TEA releases the accountability ratings for our area school districts. We'll break down how they fared.
And we'll hear reactions from local school officials about those TEA grades.
And 3 teenagers are in custody after a shooting overnight in College Station. A live report coming up.
Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
School districts and the taxpayers who fund them are learning this week the school accountability ratings by the Texas Education Agency.
Yeah, these are the A through F grades, and we're going to explain how that works and what each grade means. But we want to start by showing you how the school districts fared here in the Brazos Valley. And again, this is an A through F system, so we're going to break this down by letter grades, and we're going to start with A. And who landed in the A category? We're talking about Mumford, Madisonville, Franklin, and Anderson-Shiro. Now, B, half a dozen of our local school districts earned the B. That is including College Station, Hearn, Calvert, Leon, Centerville, and Caldwell. The Bryan School District landed a C this year, right along with Snook ISD. And finally, earning a D, we had Navasota and Somerville. By the way, Brenham got a B and Huntsville earned a C. There are several factors that go into determining these grades. So Carla Castillo is actually joining us here at 6 o'clock to explain how all of this is formulated and what's exactly evaluated. Carla?
Okay, so you know the stress of the STAR test every year. That is because the state agency does take your children's scores into account when giving their schools these grades. But there's a few more deciding factors that fall into 3 different categories. The first is evaluating student achievement. That includes the STAR test results, college, career, and military readiness, and graduation rates for their school and the district. Now, there's also school progress. How much are those STAR scores improving from year to year? And how does each school and district compare to others of similar size? Now, the third evaluation category, a little trickier, but it's known as closing the gaps. This is where the state agency looks at how economically disadvantaged and minority groups have performed year to year. So this also includes students who may not yet be proficient in English, or they may be in special education programs. And now Bryan and College Station superintendents have told me the system does not take everything they are doing into consideration. In fact, College Station is working with some other districts across the state to create a more comprehensive and community-based accountability system. Live in the studio, Carla Castillo, News 3.
Carla, thanks so much. And it's exactly those reasons you laid out why we wanted to talk to those 2 largest school districts in the Brazos Valley after they've received these TEA accountability ratings. College Station ISD received a B and Bryan ISD received a C, as Rusty told you. We spoke to leadership at both districts today.